All right, let's talk about how to solve a problem in SPSS when you're merging databases, when the databases do not include the same number of cases. So for example, in this database, which is my analytic sample, I have 3,307 cases. That represents a subsample of a broader sample of cases that includes 3,825 cases. This database includes information of all 3,307 students in the first database, but additional like 500 plus students. I'd like to get information about some of the variables in this database and import it to my analytic sample database. And what ends up happening is something like this. You go to do the merge. So you go to Data, Merge Files, Add Variables. I already have the database open that I want to merge, so I'm going to select that database. I'm going to do a one-to-one merge based on key values, and that indeed is the key value that I want. And when I do that, what ends up happening, and it doesn't matter if I select only a subset of variables or all the variables like I did just now, what ends up happening is my data set has now increased, not just didn't stay limited to 3,307, it is now up to 3,825. There is no way in SPSS, even though it says one-to-one merge based on key values, SPSS will add in those additional unmatched cases. It's just the way the program works. At least when you're using the graphical user interface. You can probably get around this with syntax, but let's say you're using the GUI, and what would you do next? So I need to filter out those 3,307s, but how do I do that? Then the question becomes, well, one thing I knew about my 3,307 cases was that I had complete data for those. So I didn't have any blanks. So if I were to filter any of these variables, doesn't matter really which one, if I sort them descending, if I sort them ascending, I'm going to have a bunch of research IDs for whom there's no information except for those new variables. And those are the new variables that I actually wanted to put in. So I can quickly identify students, and there should be, if we do the math right, 3,825 minus 3,307. There should be 518 cases that have no data on any of the variables preceding the ones that I just added. So if this is correct, and I scroll down and I keep scrolling, I'm just about there, and look at that, 518 cases that do not have data. Those were the ones that were outside my analytic sample. So all I need to do now is I can quickly do this. So when all of them are highlighted, all you need to do is right-click and clear, and now you have your database with just your analytic sample merged with the new data that you wanted, because now I have these new variables. Now, I have some missing data on those new variables, but that's intentional. The key is that I have my analytic sample, all the variables that I wanted, and it's working the way I want to. If your data set is so big that it's prohibitive to, select cases the way I did with just a mouse, then you can create a variable where you're creating a system missing variable, and then you could sort on that variable and then delete from there. And that's how you do it.